Y'all, I had my biggest sale to date, but I feel like some of you are not gonna let me count it. Let me know at the end of the video if you think my biggest sale counts or not.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tremors for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I'm a part-time reseller on a bunch of different reselling platforms, but in today's What Sold video, we're only going to be talking about sales on really like 3 different platforms plus a direct sale. So even though I sell on 6 or 7 different platforms, only 3 performed for me this week that we're going to talk about, which is the week of January 10th through the 16th. Now, I will also say that I'm not going to actually share all of my sales with you because I just put out a ship with me video and I will link that video right here. And in that video, I actually share the majority of my sales from Friday as well as Saturday and Sunday sales. So this will probably be a little bit shorter of a video since I'm only going to show you from Monday through Thursday, a sprinkling of Friday, and then I'll give you my numbers the way that I typically do. I would love to hear from you. I'm almost scared to hear what the answer is, but I would love to hear, what do you prefer? These kinds of like sit down what sold videos where I show you a screenshot of the item that sold, or ship with me videos. I'm scared because I don't know how often I can do ship with me videos, but we'll see based off of what you say in the comments below. So I don't know if you remember from last week's What Sold video, but I did talk about how I listed 25 things every day from like January 1st through the 9th. So this is the week immediately after, and I do think that me listing a ton did help me make some sales, especially again on like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those were big sales days for me. I have since stopped listing that many items just because I could not keep up. It was just too much with my full-time job and having a family and all that kind of stuff. But I'm glad that I started the year off that way, and I do think that it's helping me just kind of like have a pretty successful January compared to years past. So as you can see from this information that I pulled from eBay, when I compare the last 31 days to this time period from last year, I'm up by like 90.8%. That does have to do with my biggest sale, but I think it also has to do with the fact that I did list a ton. And when you look at these graphics from Seller Insight, one thing that you'll notice is that although there are a few days left in January, I've already sold more in terms of number of items on Poshmark this January compared to last year's January, and I've made more in revenue already, even though, like I said, there's a few days left. So with that being said, let's start with talking about my sales on Monday, which was January 10th. The first sale that I had was over on Poshmark, and it was this Joseph Ribkoff textured polka dot, I think this says long sleeve jacket in a size 6. I have had this for a long time. I know Joseph Ribkoff is like a pretty decent brand. It's pretty expensive retail, but I tend to sit on it for a pretty long time. I was honestly kind of surprised that it sold on Poshmark. It sold for $31 because I was fully expecting for it to sell over on eBay because it's a little bit more mature of a brand. Sometimes people describe it as art to wear. This was like a pretty tame piece, I guess, for Joseph Ribkoff. But this sale happened because, one, it was relisted using an app on my phone that I love called Seller Insight. And then 2, the sale happened because of Poshmark VA, which is a Chrome extension that I use to share my Poshmark closet and to send out offers on items that have been liked 4 minutes after it's been liked. So that's what happened here. Someone liked the item, Poshmark VA sent them the offer. I had $5 into this item, so once you factor in my cost of goods, my shipping discount, and Poshmark's 20% fees, I ended up making a profit of $17.34 on that. Not bad, but I've had it for a long time, so I honestly will probably cool down on picking up Joseph Ribkoff in the future. I sold this Adidas Heat purple tennis skirt in a women's size medium. This I actually got an offer on over on Mercari during that time when Mercari was just not working for me because they were reviewing my W9 and it was taking them forever and ever. But I'm glad that it ended up selling anyway a few days later over on eBay. It sold for $15.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. It was promoted at 3%. I had $1.02 into it because it is something that I got from a local reseller who no longer wanted to resell. So I bought out all of her inventory, and after the buyer paid for shipping, after fees, after all that good stuff, I still made a profit of $12.55. And that was an item that I listed during my 25 listings a day extravaganza. So that sold really fast. The next thing to sell is my biggest sale to date. Now, let me know how you would handle this when it comes to taxes, when it comes to just Would you count this? The reason I'm asking is because this was a personal item. It was my old MacBook, and it wasn't that old. It's only a couple years old. It's from 2020. It was the Apple 13-inch MacBook Pro laptop. It had a quad-core i5, 256 gigabytes, 164 gigabyte. 16 gigabyte RAM. You guys, I don't really know what any of this stuff means. My husband is very techie and does a lot of research on everything. And so he was the one that found it for me. And he's the one that helped me sell it. He's the one that helped me find, a good listing on eBay. And then we did sell similar. And we just kind of plugged in our own information. But this baby sold on eBay for my full asking price of $849.99. I got so many lowball offers on this thing for like $500, $600. And every time it happened, I would, run it by my husband, and he was like, no, just wait. He's like, I looked at comps for this, and they have sold in that $800 to $850 range. And mine had a lot of space on it. I think the RAM was upgraded a little bit, and he was like, just wait. It will sell. And at the very least, there's no need for us to go below $800. He was absolutely right. It probably took only about 2 weeks, but it did sell for $849.99. I had the buyer pay for shipping. I only had them pay $15. And one thing I learned through selling this item is that once you cross a certain threshold, I don't remember what the price is, but once you sell something over a certain price, eBay requires you to pay a little bit more so that the buyer has to sign for it when it's delivered. I was going to pay for that anyway, just because with an item that expensive, you want to make sure that it gets into the hands of the buyer before the postal worker leaves. But I kind of like the fact that eBay requires it. It's not like it's that much more, and you just want that extra insurance when you are shipping out something so expensive. I also paid a little bit extra on that transaction to ensure the entire value of the laptop. I forget like the dollar amount that is insured through typical USPS shipping, but it's definitely not up to $850 worth. So let's say that you sell something that's worth $100. If something happens to it, you can get insurance on that package up to $100. But what if the item that you're shipping out has a value of $200? Then if something happens to it, you only get $100 of insurance on that item versus getting, that whole $200. Again, the $100 figure, I don't know if that's correct or not. But that's why I paid a little bit more to insure all $849.99 of the laptop, so that in case anything happened to it, I would not be out that much money. So after all was said and done, after my upgraded shipping label, after fees, all that good stuff, I ended up making a profit of $723.25. Now, obviously, I paid almost double that, if not more than double that. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. My husband knows exactly how much we paid for it at the beginning, but that's probably close to half of what we paid for it initially. That's why I'm wondering, would you count that towards your profit for the year? I would love to hear, so let me know. We also listed one other laptop. My husband is selling his laptop as well because he recently upgraded. So it's just been really interesting learning, how that works in a different category, because I've never listed a laptop or anything like that before. So it was a good way to learn more about listing electronics just by listing stuff in our own house. And that is one of the tips that I share in this video right here, which is all about what I would do if I were to start reselling in 2022. One of my greatest tips is to look around your house and start with what you have at home. That way you're kind of forced to learn about a lot of other categories, but you're not putting any money into acquiring inventory. So check out that video if you haven't already. But the next sale was not nearly as exciting as it was this Gap Kids white crochet ruffled dress in a size 6 to 7. This was my daughter Lucy's. I don't think she wore it because really the time that she would have worn this was during COVID, and where are we going during COVID, right? So I don't know that she really wore this. It was used. I think someone gave it to us, but it sold for $19.99. I think that was its full asking price. It was promoted at 3%, and so I made a profit of $17.12 on that little dress because, again, we had it laying around our house. The next sale was over on Mercari, and this person had actually made an offer on these when I wasn't able to sell on Mercari, and when I got my selling privileges back because they had finished, checking out my W-9 information, I messaged the buyer and let her know that she could purchase these now. It was this pair of Vionic Silver Spark Serene perforated leather flats in a women's size 11. You have heard me talk about this size so much in the past few weeks because this size of shoes sells so well. If you are limited on time at the thrift store, start in the women's size 11 section because those shoes have been selling like hotcakes for me. So those sold for $31. I had $8.99 into them. I don't know from where, maybe like at a local thrift store or something. So I still made a profit of $17.71 on those. Those were listed for like a decent amount of time, but I always pick up Vionic when I see it. It's a great brand. On Tuesday, which was January 11th, the first thing to sell was over on Poshmark. It was this pair of new with tags, American Bozzy. No idea. I got these from the local reseller buyout. They were these camo color twill high-rise cargo joggers in a size small. These sold for $15. I think the retail price on them was like $25 or $30. They were really cheap to begin with. I only had $1.02 into these because they were from the inventory buyout, so I made a profit of $10.58. If you're looking at these and you're like, I need these in my life, I have another pair in red in my closet right now, so go find them, send me like a $10 offer, and they are yours. The next thing to sell was over on eBay, and it was this book called Finding Ophelia's Voice. I feel like you have to say it in some sort of accent, and it's all about nurturing the adolescent voice. This is a book that I bought when I was teaching middle school choir. That was my first gig out of college. I taught middle school choir, and I bought this book with every intention of reading it. Never did. It just sat in my house, collected dust. I listed it and it sold for $29.99. It was listed for a few months. It's not like it was a quick sale, and it was promoted at 3%. I shipped it out using media mail, and so I made a profit of $24.73 on that book. That again was just taking up space in my house. If you've not done a good inventory, a good sweep of your house to see what is laying around that you could just possibly list online, you need to do that yesterday. Like, you need to look through your house. Chances are it's a gold mine. There's some really good stuff in there. The next thing to sell was this Mountain Hardwear gray graphic full zip hoodie sweatshirt in a size extra large for women. This sold for $19.99, I believe. Nope, I didn't have a sale running. I think someone just sent me an offer of $19.99. This was one of my newest listings from that 25 listings a day period of my life. I had the buyer pay for shipping. I had $1.02 into that item because, again, it was from the reseller inventory buyout. That's a lot of what I've been listing lately. And so I made a profit of $15.61. Mountain Hardwear is a great outdoor brand. I have sold, a good number of pieces by this brand, but I've never sold like a casual hoodie like this, so I didn't know how it would do. It sold really fast. I think I just priced it well, and then I got an offer, so I was good to go. And then on Mercari, I sold this Land's End black cardigan in a size extra large. This again was something that, I got an offer on when I wasn't able to sell on Mercari, but I reached out to the buyer, let her know that Mercari was up and running for me again. So she bought it for $20. Again, I only had $1.02 into it because I purchased it as part of that inventory buyout. So I made a profit on that Land's End cardigan of $16.10. I was shooketh. I would never have picked that up myself if I saw it at like a thrift store or maybe even at the bins, but I think maybe at bins prices, Land's End, especially in the bigger sizes, might be worth it. On Wednesday, which was January 12th, I had 2 Poshmark sales. The first one being this pair of Zara Basic high-rise paper bag wide leg belted casual pants in like a khaki color in a women's size extra small. These I thrifted a while ago, pre-COVID. I wore them pre-COVID a handful of times, and even pre-COVID, they were like a smidge tight, but I made them work. And then COVID happened, and then I gained a ton of weight, and I remember like trying these pants on again, maybe a few months ago, and they would not pull all the way up. Like, they would not come up over my gluteus maximus.
They're not coming on, man.
I was like, okay, that's the sign that I need to go ahead and list these. They sold for $22 with discounted shipping. That was another Posher VA sale. And so I made $15.14, on something that I got a little bit of wear out of when I didn't weigh the amount that I weigh now. By the way, if you are sick of sharing your own Poshmark closet and sending out offers to likers on items, then I would check out Posher VA. I do have a coupon code that I will put down in the description below. It's just Becky Park, and you save 20% off of your first payment. That's how it works. Yeah, off of your first payment. And if you're unsure, they do offer a free 2-week trial, and like for real free. They don't even make you give them your credit card information or anything. They do that because they know that after the 2 weeks, you're going to be like,
I can't go back to my life without Posher VA.
So, if you want to try it out risk-free, sign up for their free trial, and then, like I said, they're going to hook you. But, if it makes you feel better. The next thing to sell was this pair of Skechers Black Relaxed Fit Breathe Easy Fortunate, I don't know, shoes in a size 8.5. You guys, I need to write better. In a size 8.5. These sold for $31, again with discounted shipping because it was a Posher VA sale. I got these at a local thrift store for $4.99, so my profit on those was $17.35. These kinds of like casual Skechers shoes, they've been selling pretty decently for me. They don't sell super quick. I do have to sit on them for like at least a month, but they do eventually sell like anywhere between that $28 and $35 range, so I'm cool with that. The next day that we'll talk about is Thursday, which is January 13th. On Poshmark, the first thing to sell was this Ergo Baby black baby carrier with like the head cover. It's one of those things that you wear on your front, you put your baby in it, and they just kind of like snuggle up against you. I loved using my Ergo with both of my kids. Like they lived in that thing until they were like 2 or 3. Like I would rehearse with students, with my babies in my Ergo. Like I just love it. This I actually got from my friend when I bought out her inventory. So I had $1.50 into this. I don't know if this was hers or if she had purchased it to resell. I kid you not. I listed this during my lunch period at school, and within, I want to say like 40 minutes, it had sold for my full asking price of $25. And it's not even like it was in pristine condition. Like there were like marks on the pads, and like it was not, it had been used. It had been loved. $25 instantaneously, and I made a profit of $18.50 after you subtract Poshmark's fees and my cost of goods. If you have anything like this lying around at home, list it now. The next thing to sell was this Everlane black 100% Supima cotton V-neck t-shirt in a size medium. This is the most basic thing ever. I think I had it listed for $12. Posher VA sent out offers for $9 because I send out 15% off offers. And after discounted shipping, after my cost of goods, which was $1.02, I made a profit of $2.57. You already know McDonald's French fries money.
So good.
The next thing to sell was over on Mercari. It was this long sleeve shirt by the brand Archaic by Affliction. Pretty sure this was like a buckle thing. It had like a black skull on it, and it was like a thermal long sleeve shirt in a men's size large. I think I shared about this a few weeks ago, but my parents, when they were in town for the holidays, they helped me steam a ton of clothes. And my dad, while he was steaming this, was like, hey, there's a hole in the sleeve. And so initially I was just going to donate it, but I looked it up just in case, and in good condition, these things can sell for like $20, $25. I listed mine low. I listed it for like maybe $18 or something like that. And within a few days on Mercari, I got a $13 offer, even with, pictures of the hole, describing it in the description. $13 offer. I had $1.02 into it because it was a part of that inventory buyout. And so I made a profit of $10. I'm not going to sneeze at $10. Like, I'm happy with $10. The next thing to sell was this pair of Nike Pro Dry Fit Black mid-rise leggings in a women's size small. These my sister-in-law gave to me for free to resell. They sold for $12. There was a lot of pilling on the inside of the waistband, and I think I spent maybe a couple minutes on them with the sweater shaver, and then I was like, no, I don't care. I'm just gonna take pictures of the pilling, describe it in the description, and move on with my life because these are not going to sell for that much anyway. So they sold for $12. I made $10.15. I'm happy. The next day that we'll talk about, and this is the last day of sales that we will talk about because like I said, I showed all of my Saturday and Sunday and the majority of my Friday sales in my Ship With Me video. So you can check out that video and actually see some of those pieces in the flesh as well. But there were a few pieces that sold on Friday that I didn't talk about. The first one was this pair of Banana Republic Lanificio Cerruti. I can kind of fake my way through Italian because of all the voice lessons that I've had and all the Italian arias I've sung. But they were just this pair of tailored slim fit dress pants in a men's 31 by 30. These were part of, I believe, a men's thredUP rescue box. So I had $2.99 into them. I had a $15 offer. I just accepted because I was like, look, it's the first offer of the day. I don't really care about these pants. If they sell for more, it's going to be for $5 more. And I'd rather get the ball rolling with sales. And so I accepted the offer. I made $9.01. And then a ton more sales came rolling in. I like to think that it had something to do with me accepting that sale. The next item to sell was this pair of American Eagle original boot cut jeans in a men's size 33 by 30. This again was something that I got in a men's thredUP rescue box. I don't think that I would pick up bootcut jeans at the thrift store for thrift store prices. Bootcut jeans will sell. There is definitely a market for them. They're just not going to sell for a ton. So if I were to come across these at the bins or something, I'd probably get them, right? If they're in good condition and whatnot. But they, I had no choice in the matter. They came to me in a thredUP rescue box. So I sold them for $20 with discounted shipping. That was a Poshmark VA sale. So I made a profit of $10.55. And then the last thing that I didn't talk about in that Ship With Me video was this pair of Everlane leather, the modern loafer burgundy flats in a size 9. These sold for $34, which is a lot less than I wanted to move them for, but I was sending out 30% off offers that day on Friday the 14th using Poshmark's newer, offer to likers in bulk feature. It's a great feature. This is the kind of stuff that they need to keep coming out with, right? I sent out 30% off offers. Truth be told, I have had these for a really long time. And part of it is because I swear, the exterior, perfect. Not a scratch, not a scuff. I feel like even the bottoms of the shoes, great condition. Something happened though on the inside of the shoe. I want to say specifically against the back heel. Something sinister happened inside those shoes. I'm not quite sure what. So I think that's part of the reason why they took so long to sell. But they finally did. I had $1.81 into those because I got them at a local consignment store when they were having this huge sale. Plus they gave me a bigger discount because it's the same consignment store where I shopped in bulk that one time. And so I still made a profit of $22.93 on those. Everlane shoes in general, though, will typically sell for much higher than that. I think Everlane shoes are a great pickup, so if you find them and if the cost is right, then I would definitely encourage you to pick them up. So everything else that sold is going to be in that Ship With Me video. I'll have it linked down in the description below as well in case you're curious to see what kinds of items sold. A lot from my most recent inventory buyout and a lot that I had listed at the beginning of January as part of my 25 listings a day experience. So let's talk about my numbers. On Poshmark, I sold 24 items and that was for a gross sales amount of $587. A lot of that is due to the fact that I was sending out 30% off offers on Friday and I think that definitely helped. Once you factor in Poshmark's fees and any shipping discounts that I offered, which I did offer a fair amount because of Poshmark VA, that total drops to $420.61. My cost of goods for those 24 items was $62.26, and so my net profit from Poshmark for the week was $358.35. On eBay, I sold 12 items. One of them was that laptop. So my gross sales amount was $1,014.94, which is a lot. But once you factor in fees and shipping, that total drops to $863.26. My cost of goods was $8.35 for those 12 items. Obviously, I'm not including how much I paid initially for my laptop. And so my net profit on eBay was $854.91. On Mercari, I sold 7 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $123. My profit, once you factor in Mercari's fees, drops to $105.03. I had $20.82 as my cost of goods for those 7 items, so my net profit on Mercari was $84.21. I had one direct sale, and again, again, I show that in the ship with me video. It was this pair of the North Face boots, but that sold for $42 shipped. And so once you factor in shipping and fees, because I think that was through PayPal, there's like a little bit of PayPal fees, that total drops to $30.32. I had $1.02 into them because they were something that I got from the inventory buyout, and $1.02 was my average cost of goods for all the pieces that I bought from her. So my net profit from my direct sale was $30.30. So in total, in that week, I sold 44 items for a gross sales amount of $1,766.94. Once you factor in fees and shipping, that total drops to $1,424.22. I had $92.45 as my cost of goods for those 44 items, and so my net profit was $1,331.77. Obviously, that $850 sale did not hurt, but if you want to know what my numbers looked like if I don't include the profit from that laptop, then my profit drops to $608.42, which is not bad. I'm not hitting my mark as far as the goal that I set for myself if I'm trying to make $40,000 in profits in the year 2022. But historically, I know that January is just a tough month, and it does feel like there's been a lot more activity, in all of my reselling platforms for the month of January than what I remember in years past. So I think I'm doing okay. I think that later months will make up for it. And also, I've been listing items that I'm listing for lower dollar amounts just because, I'm listing stuff from this inventory buyout, and it's a lot of bread and butter, which I do not mind at all. But as a result, I'm selling a lot of like $15, $20, $25 things, which is fine. But I do have a lot of great stuff that is worth a little bit more that I'll be listing or have started listing, and I'm excited for those sales to start rolling in so I can tell you about those. So thanks for hanging out with me and watching what's sold. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button so that YouTube knows you liked it, and I'll know you liked it too. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, definitely make sure that you subscribe on your way out. And if you are just dying to watch some more what sold videos like this, I do have a what sold playlist that I will link right here so that you can binge your little heart out on a ton of what sold videos. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.